We are now joined by Mr. Alan Davis.
For After Hours, sponsored by Thin Man Brewery.
Love Thin Man.
We welcome Al.
Alan Davis is the program director for WGR 550 Radio. He is an original 40 2017 world record game holder. He is a member of the board of directors of the 11-Day Power Play, Inc. and Nova Scotia Junior D Hall of Famer Alan Davis.
Get the letter. It's at least B. And the reason I checked before coming down here because I knew you would hammer me. It is B, fourth line.
Fourth line?
Yeah.
Well, in the 11-Day, you were first line. So that's
Thank
all
you,
that matters.
Amy. Thank you, Amy. Thank you very much. Thank you for having me. It's been fun watching this. You two are now lost as TV stars, so I'm sure there's more shows to come. This is only the beginning.
I mean, as soon as I get a new tooth, I have a new career.
Why? I think the tooth is one of the things that's drawing people here.
Oh, yeah.
We were going to actually have a segment, Mike's Missing Tooth. We decided to not do that.
Where's Waldo? Where's the tooth?
I want one of the golf shirts. I noticed that, smart production people make sure there's plenty of golf wear and 11-Day Power Play golf shirts for the hosts.
Well, we actually had a 2-week competition to get into the golf challenge. So top fundraisers had to earn that.
I know. There were a lot of golf balls in my backyard.
That's right. Alan
like
lives
20.
For people that don't know, Alan lives on Glen Oak Golf Course.
Yeah.
For those that are listening, 17, second house on the left, just plaster it.
Just plaster it. Yeah,
he's got an extra room.
Tammy and I had a lot of fun finding golf balls. But listen, let me tell you something. If I could just say one thing about that golf challenge. Mike mentioned it to us in a meeting. And we have, of course, for 2 years been trying to put on the original 40 golf tournament to support the 11-Day. And, for whatever reason, of course, COVID-19 this year, the big reason we weren't able to do it. And then last year there were date complications that didn't allow us to do it. So Mike says, I want to try this challenge. And after seeing how much fun the guys had and how much it raised as a fundraiser, tremendous. Well done. It was really good. And I know all the guys had an awful lot of fun participating. So you've now created another annual. So congratulations. Really well done. Really well done.
That was born from the COVID, actually kind of like a COVID event when Peyton Manning and Tom Brady, Tiger Woods, and Phil Mickelson played. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
So we kind of mimicked it after that a little bit. It worked out great. $47,000.
Yeah, it got a lot of energy quickly, and a lot of the people who were involved, trying to raise funds, they were really jazzed about the opportunity to be able to play.
Yep.
So, and those who put on golf tournaments on a regular basis know it's a lot of work. There's a ton that goes into it. There's a lot that goes into even this particular challenge, but much less than a regular golf tournament because you can control the field a lot better.
Right.
The golf course is able to accommodate you a lot easier.
Right.
It fit protocols very easy this year,
Right.
so well done.
We could
Well
provide
done.
golf shirts. That was easy.
Right, plenty of golf shirts apparently.
And, of course, our friends from Uplifter Video got to see all my great shots.
Listen, Uplifter Video has been outstanding.
Yeah.
So you guys are here forever now, correct?
Let's talk to them right now.
Yeah.
We've got
I
Jason
mean,
over here.
this is basically your new life.
So Jason says it's tiring and exhausting, but
It's like Hotel California.
he feels like he's an original 40. Not sleeping.
Well, I can understand that, though, because a lot of the physical was taken care of before we started the event in 2017. We trained pretty hard for that. The mental was a big part of it, actually. I mean, it really was tough.
Oh, yeah.
It really was tough.
We had a few of the guys on that played before. Your good buddies, Chris Boron, CB.
I watched.
And Dan McGee, Goo.
And Dan, yeah.
So we had a little trivia for them.
Uh-oh.
It was who was the leading scorer during the event?
That would have been Kenny Corp.
Yep. And who
and
was
Jeff Peters was second.
And Jeff Peters was second. Who was third?
I think you were.
No. Nick Fatty.
See, that's smart. Just for anybody who knows, you always pay tribute to the host right away.
He's a D.
Yeah.
And then who's the lowest non-goalie?
That would have been me. And I actually think you guys padded my goals because at the end, it says Alan Davis got 14 goals, and I'm going, I don't remember 14 goals. I remember 19 shifts, but I don't remember 14 goals.
Well, you were the oldest member of that team, and it was an inspiration to a lot of people, so you did awesome.
Well, it was fun, and I say that lightheartedly now, but it was a heck of a challenge. There's no doubt about it. A heck of a challenge. And what's come out of it has been unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable when you see this event. And congratulations to everybody for persevering, never saying no, never saying die. There were plenty of texts, plenty of phone conversations. Talk about a ride like this.
Yeah, the three of us talked a lot.
But I think that as I sit here now and I see how everybody's enjoying the event, I have to be honest with you. I was sitting up there watching that game and going, so what is the record for ball hockey?
Oh, no. I'm glad you said it, not me.
Oh, boy.
I'm just curious.
I'll let you know in about an hour.
You should. I'm serious because it is a lot of fun. It's hard. It's grueling, but I mean, it is a challenge.
Yeah.
And we're all seeking that challenge. And to watch that game that just completed, which had a number of original 40 guys playing it, and others who I know would have loved to have been able to play in the original event but couldn't for one reason or another. But it was a very spirited game, and it was a control game. There's some talent out there, and it was fun to watch. It really was an awful lot of fun to watch.
Good hockey players.
Yeah, it was fun to watch. And this venue is terrific.
Yeah,
They've been so accommodating. I mean, when we first met with them, we weren't quite sure if we were going to be able to have it, and they said, whatever you need up to the last minute.
Yep.
You can use the facility. You have our blessings, and I can't
it's been great.
They've been
Sean
amazing.
Green's been great right from the start, so I can't say enough.
We have our own locker room. We actually have our own full hockey locker room.
We got our trailer over there.
I know. Seriously, we've lost the two of you.
AC,
I'm impressed with Mike because he's played in a number of games out here filling in. And he was out there with those kids yesterday, and he's the one who suggests to them. Now, keep in mind, everybody, you want to have 5 or 6 people on your bench when you do this. Well, this game had 1 on each bench. So Mike's the one who suggests, hey, do you guys just want to play regular hockey instead of splitting the floor up and having 3 up, 3 back? And I said, yeah, okay. And then he says, I'll play. And he's out there running up and down, and I'm going, dude.
He goes from announcing the top fundraisers and how much the team has raised to all of a sudden he's got a jersey on and he's playing. This is what happens, Alan. This is what happens.
And the thing with Mike, and there's players that you see like this. I sometimes see it on Chris Boron's face, but Mike, I always see it. He has a smile, and it's almost like a smirk. That's what a lot of guys see it as, a smirk. Like he gets that look in his, I'm gonna tool you here, and I'm gonna, it's just that thing. Well, he had that for a while yesterday. I got a kick out of watching him. Yeah. He was having an awful lot of fun out there.
I have an answer to your question. 105 hours and 12 minutes.
Jeez, that's
less than half of what we did.
That would be a breeze.
That's.
Here we go.
5 days.
Nobody knows what we're laughing at, so.
Tammy. Frank Selke.
I just looked at the live feed, and it said,
YouTube.
I love listening to that golden throat, as he's known as in Toronto, Alan Davis. And of course, that came from Tammy Davis.
Of course. There's one of the smartest people in the world. I'm telling you.
Yes, she is.
She's great. Frank Selke Jr. gave me that name years ago. He worked for Moosehead at that time, or I'm sorry, Molson at that time, and they had the hockey rights for the Toronto Maple Leafs. And so we had secured for the radio station the rights to have the Maple Leafs, so I was working with him constantly.
Awesome.
So we would have phone conversations, and he's the one who phoned me one day, and he says, is Golden Throat there?
You do have that voice.
I mean, Frank Selke, that's a pretty impressive name to throw out there.
Well, just being around the hockey world as long as I have, you do get to, and as a broadcaster, you get to know these people through your work.
As a broadcaster with 50 years experience, how do you think we've been doing so far?
Well, I do have a critique. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure you're going to get critiqued anyway.
Well, we do by the hour.
Yeah. I think that you guys have come a long way in a few days.
Yeah, you know what? We were talking about it today. The first night, we were nervous.
Yeah, and I mean, that's natural.
And, having a rehearsal with technology in place never happened. Yeah. So, everything just happened so quickly, and we got things set up, and all of a sudden we were live. And, yeah.
The trick, and there's not many that know how to do it, but Larry King was brilliant at listening. And it's about listening as opposed to having prepped questions all the way through. Certainly you have to have a plan.
Right.
But Larry was gifted at listening to his guest and following the conversation that way. And he relaxed his guests that way. That's the part that takes a little while.
We haven't taken that class yet.
What's that?
We haven't taken that class yet.
No, I don't expect you're going to get to that level.
I'm a listener. I listen.
You're good. Okay.
Now we've got them. This is the best part.
Jason, before you got on, not even an hour ago, Jason said, "I need to have a show of all the stuff we say to each other when it's not on the air."
Yes, the one. That's the one.
And then when you were hot, and we had just said something, we're like, oh no. And then he's like, just kidding.
Well, it's fun though. I've been doing it for an awful long time. My dad actually was an MC. It wasn't his profession, but in our town they would always get him to be the MC for our community events.
Tell us where you're from.
I'm from Bridgewater, Nova Scotia, not far from where Sidney Crosby,
I heard of him,
Nate McKinnon,
I've heard of him,
and Brad Marchand are from.
Not bad.
Right from that area. Grew up there. It's the Atlantic time zone. We're right on the ocean. I grew up next to the ocean. And for most of my life, I wanted to get to central part of Canada. My goal was to get into broadcasting, get to Toronto, and hopefully really start a career there. And I was fortunate enough to be able to do that. And the company that I started with, I didn't know it at the time, but I started writing shows for a network up there for the Toronto Maple Leafs, and lo and behold, the company bought that company, and I ended up getting an opportunity to work in sports very early on. So
awesome. From
1986 on, I was broadcasting sports.
So writing shows, Jason and Mark the Uplifter guys are going, wait, now you're telling us this? You could have helped write some of the scripts for 11 straight days for 3.5 hours a night?
This is a different discipline. He'll tell you that. Yeah. What I was writing was for radio. Radio's a totally different discipline. And television is you've got to have your marks right in television. It's much. When I did television, I was one who didn't like television because of that very reason. Radio provided the freedom that I enjoyed. And then it was kind of one of those things where I was in the right place at the right time. When All Sports Radio launched in New York, I was running the network for the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Toronto Blue Jays at that time, and I had established a show on the radio station called Primetime Sports with Bob McCowan. And we launched the All Sports station in 1992, in September of 92, and I was the program director for that. So I've been doing it for a long time, and I've been blessed. I've been lucky, very lucky.
So Entercom has been incredibly generous and so helpful to the 11-day power play since the beginning. I mean, Mike and I usually start out the year trying to fill applications for teams to play, and all we have to do is jump on the radio with you guys. So, maybe you could talk a little bit about how much you guys have helped us.
Well, I will. I love Buffalo. My wife, Tammy, and I have been blessed to be able to come here. When Mike Pekka was on the other night, I kept going like this when Mike was on talking about this community and talking about the people here, and he couldn't be more right. Well, Entercom Buffalo is like that. The people there, I love the people there. I love working with every one of them, and they'll jump in for any cause. They love this one. They particularly do love this one. You have Brian Mazurowski, who is the morning host with Susan Rose on WBEN. He's a participant. and then you have all the producers. I have every producer on WGR are all in. They're all in, and they can't wait to come down here and play ball hockey. So WGR is really fired up about it. And so when it comes time to talk to Mike and Amy, they love it. They love it. So,
funny.
And of course, Star and Kiss, the same thing. The same thing for them. They're very much a part of all the efforts here as well. And we welcome you with open arms. And anything we can do to help, we do.
It was funny, the one time I was going on GR 550, and Mike was out of town last minute. And I was like, I have to go on the radio, to talk about sports. Like, how am I going to get through this? And Jeremy just made me feel so comfortable, and it was probably the best interview I ever had.
Yeah, the guys make you comfortable. I mean, Howard and Jeremy, Mike, Chris, Sal, all of them.
Great professionals.
Yeah, and they're a great crew.
I do think they picked on you most of the time. And I was defending you.
Well,
Not Alan. No, sweet Alan.
That does come with the territory. That comes with the territory all the time. The other group that I do want to mention here is my Dragon Boat family. I reached out to them again the other night.
Speaking of Riverworks.
Yes. And, Hope Chest with Susan Gates and that whole family over there. They couldn't have their event this year, and they've had it here, as you two know. You've come down and you've been part of it. You've participated, Amy.
Wasn't easy. It was fun, though.
You have all these breast cancer survivors that are part of that event. Well, they couldn't have their event this year, but they still made sure to support this one, and that will continue. So I'm impressed with that. And the same I call the races for Buffalo, and I do it in Philadelphia, and I do it in Tampa. And they've all supported this event. They support me. They're the lion's share of my donation is coming from those groups.
That's awesome.
And I was fortunate enough 6 years ago, to be in Sarasota. I was asked to go down and call the races and be the MC for the International Breast Cancer Survivors Dragon Boat Festival. And you had over 100 teams.
Wow.
All breast cancer survivors from all over the world. It was a tremendous event. And, it really struck me that these are just people, women, who are just, despite everything they're going through, as you well know, they still feel purpose and hope, and they still feel like there are so many good things that are happening in their life. I was amazed by that. The camaraderie was tremendous, and I couldn't have been more proud of them to do the job that they did out on the water, because let me tell you, they're extremely competitive. But to see them in the village and to watch them mingle with one another,
it's a bond.
Everybody in the world should see that.
When a breast cancer patient is first diagnosed, my experience was I wanted to talk to somebody that had been through it, or somebody that's going through it, and there's a bond there and a connection that is just there forever. My best friends are breast cancer survivors. It's you get that ailment, that ache, that pain, and you think it's back, and you call your friend who is going to sit there and talk you out of it. So I can absolutely see exactly what you're saying with a boat race, which is not easy. Those women are strong.
They're strong. They're in shape. They're competitive. The bond is extremely strong. And in Tampa at that festival, they take and every one that I do, whether it's here in Buffalo, they of course do it. They take a moment during the festival to recognize breast cancer survivors and those teams, especially with the ceremony every year. And I'm always moved by that. I'm always moved. I don't know that we as people sometimes realize you don't have to say anything. You really don't have to say anything. You just have to be yourself. Mm-hmm. That's all anybody's really asking, just for you to be around and be there if necessary.
And they know you have the best voice in town, so.
Well, I'm not sure about that, but it comes with the territory a little bit. As I said, my dad, I got it from him.
So you mentioned a couple of the producers. Talk about your upcoming shift. You played in the original group where we played each other and had some fun. Tell us about the shift that you're going to play. And what that's going to look like.
That'll be a mess. It is every year. It's a lot of fun. But, yeah, I'll have the WGR team. And I've stacked it a little bit. I try to stack it a little bit, so I've gone out and got
Owen
a few. Well, see, Owen can't now. Owen's not going to be available. He's too, he's kind of like Liam. You can't have Liam. Can't have him get hurt now. So no, Owen Parker, Giant Goldie's son, will not be with us this year. But so we're actually in the process of recruiting goaltenders, to be quite honest with you.
Oh, boy.
But the Gallivan brothers will be part of the Media All-Stars on the other side. So there's going to be Steve Gallivan and Pete Gallivan, and that's always a blast. And I'm hoping also Jim Fink, who, of course, is business first, he's taking care of that group over there. And I'm walking around here just this evening, and I'm hearing, see you Wednesday. So he's busy, right? He's even Glenn out here. I haven't seen Glenn. Yeah, so I'm playing that, and then Wednesday, right? I'll see you Wednesday. Mm-hmm. So we're gonna have a lot of fun out there. There'll be a lot of guys. When I came to Buffalo, I was fortunate enough. Chris Parker, Bulldog, was the one who helped me. Came into town on October 14th, 2011. And it was a Friday, and I said, is there any place to play hockey here? And he says, yeah. He says, show up at Riverside at 6:30, whatever it is. I'll introduce you to a guy named Jim Fink, and then we'll take it from there. And Chris came out a couple of times to help me get to know some of these guys, and from there it's just taken off. So there will be a lot of that mix who will be playing on Wednesday as well, along with I've got Joe DiBiase, I've got Brayton. I've got, I think Derek Kramer actually is out this year.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because he had to have an operation, which is too bad because Derek on skates is one thing. But can you imagine Derek running around here for 90 minutes?
He'd be a whirling dervish.
Yeah, he would be.
You should put Andy Tokaz in that.
Well, you know what? I'll ask. No, you can't put Andy in there.
Yeah, why not?
He just had surgery, but we could just pop him in there. Oh.
It's unbelievable. Wait till I talk to Andy.
I obviously
Andy,
can't keep a secret.
Just send another donation to Bill Schaff-Lucas.
Oh, no.
I mean, he just took a shot at you, Andy. You might as well just give $100 to Schaff right now.
Unreal.
That's the best story that's going on right now. Is that bad?
It gets a little tiring, Al. It's like he wakes up in the morning and he goes, what are Bill's numbers? What are Bill's numbers? I'm like, you know what? Can I just have my coffee before you look at Bill's numbers?
What are Bill's numbers right now?
He's about 33,000 or so. I'm at 32 and change. But got a couple things up my sleeve.
Well, of course you do. You got a live stream, as Bill said.
He somehow found a way to disable my Facebook fundraising page.
What?
Why do I think that maybe by midweek there's a major new sponsor announcement to the live stream? Which is coming.
You got 8 days to plan that.
Yeah. So our game is Wednesday at 7:30.
Cool. Well,
and then the Rock, 97 Rock is after that with Jixter, right?
Well, we're going to be live, so we'll be heckling you from here.
Beautiful.
So leave us with a favorite memory of the original game and then a favorite memory since then.
And the best story ever. There's got to be a story.
That would be hard. That would be hard. If I was, I would tell you this. When I remember Friday night.
Which Friday?
The last Friday, when most guys felt we got this covered. We're done. This is in the bag. We're going to break the record. And I came off the ice, and they're going to go up to the fun deck, right? And there was that party. And I said, I've got a weekend, and I still have 4 shifts to go, and I'm done. I can't do that. And so some friends come down to that party and ask, well, where's Alan? And Tammy's at the party. And Tammy goes, well, he's asleep. He crashed, man. He's
the party that's in the parking lot, just so we know that nobody left Harbor Center.
Never miss a beat with you, do you? But that's correct. He was in the parking lot. Anyway, person walks up to Tammy 10 minutes later, goes, he's not asleep. He's down there. He's on text here. He's on Facebook. She calls down, get up here. And I'm going, No, I'm
going to bed.
I'm not coming up there.
That was a really fun night. Strictly Hip was playing. They played us.
Yes.
So that night they were playing out at the Outer Harbor there, Canal Side, and it was a gorgeous Friday night. And then that concert ended at like 10, and the Strictly Hip was like, world's longest hockey game going on at Harbor Center. And at 10 o'clock, hundreds of people came in. It was really cool.
I ran out of merchandise.
Well, the building was rocking. So for someone who actually was trying to sleep, it was almost impossible to be able to do it.
Yeah, that was fun.
But what was important to note is that most of the guys felt like we were over the hump, and now we've just got to – it's almost like playing weekend hockey, which was impressive to think about it. So that I always think of that weekend. That comes to mind a lot.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, what you two have done with this since then, that's the only story I tell. The only story I tell is what this has become, and to meet Nicholas Carl and his brothers and Greg Beliotti and Bill Schaff-Lucas and those teams, and to see what they do to bond and to support this event, to participate 110%. That's the future. That's what the 11-day community shift, big save this year. It's those guys.
Yeah.
So what has grown from what was initially at Harbor Center, an idea that had been discussed by you two for some years, and finally it was time to bring it forward, what it's become.
I still remember you attended the very first meeting with us at Roswell.
Yes.
They didn't know about it. This is the
first year.
The very first year, and we had talked about it, had some ideas, and we walked in there, and I'm not going to be negative toward them, but we proposed the idea, and we said we were going to raise $500,000, and they snickered a little bit.
Yes.
And I was like, really?
I think they were concerned that
Well,
that
of
was a
course.
lofty goal.
Because we were not fundraisers. We were just someone with a pie-in-the-sky idea. But about a week later, I started calling around and get Mike Lawley involved, and we called Roswell back and said, "You're right. We're not going to have a $500,000 goal. We're going to have $1 million goal." They're like, "Are you sure you know what you're getting yourself into?" We're like, "Nope, but we're just going to do it."
We're just going to do it.
Yeah.
And I remember all those meetings. A lot of them ended with, "We're just going to do it." A lot of them like, "We have to do this and do this. How are we going to do it?" And there was this, "We're not sure yet, but we're going to do it."
It's kind of like this.
We're going to do it. Well, this is amazing. That's why this is an important point you just made as far as I'm concerned. Because when we were going through all the phone calls and everything that led up to this, we had discussed there's no quit. There should not be any quit. We might be forced out. Let's not kid ourselves. We might be forced out. People may not know it, but there was another plan after this. There was another plan after this, right? And we had gone down a long way down the road. A lot of captains had already done a lot of work on that part of it. So there was another plan out there to create some virtual content. But when this opportunity with this great facility became available with its timing, it just really, Mike called me, and I think the two of you, I could hear it in the voice. I hadn't heard it in the voice.
We have an idea, Alan.
Yeah,
we have an
I
idea.
hadn't heard it in your voices in quite some time. But then I started to hear it. I go, okay, I think
He's
we
like,
got it now.
oh, here we go.
I think we got it. I think we got it. And congratulations. I mean, just fantastic. Just fantastic. And it's fun. It's fun.
It is fun. And
Yeah.
I think the people, I said this to the others, the folks that these guys put together great highlight reels, and, it shows how fun it is. And I think the people that couldn't do it or didn't want to do it, for whatever reason, are going to be sad that they weren't able to participate, because it's a ton of fun.
It is a ton of fun, and when I saw it, Danny McGee and Chris Aqualine and Chris Bourne and a lot of the original 40s out there right now, just a little while ago, running up and down that floor. Kenny Corp is that what's Kenny? Four shifts already. I've been down here a lot, and the first person I usually see is Kenny Corp, right? So whether it's ball hockey or at Harbor Center or whatever it is, this community is in. They're in. And so we have potentially established something here that will live beyond. And I certainly know this. The live stream is tremendous. I think having that and our ability to be able to connect
Well, this is something that we've always wanted to do.
Yeah.
And I think everyone knows the 11-day power play. Our staff is so small, and it's really volunteers that put our event on. And for us to, tap into, oh my gosh, let's bring the 11-day power play to people at home. That's one thing that I've been wanting to do for the last 2 years at the community shift.
Yeah.
Because not everybody makes it down to Harbor Center, and people have stories to be told. And we've been able to interview every single captain. We've been able to interview, players on the bench. We've been able to be up close and personal with our beneficiaries. And Mike and I have been able to go to see a wish in the community and meet a family who uses, the services at Camp Good Days. These are all things that we've been able to do because of COVID.
Yeah.
So as far as we're concerned, next year when we can have the 11-day power play on the ice, we're still doing this.
Oh, I've already said this is part of.
Uplifter Videos.
Welcome aboard.
Has provided us the tools.
We have regular meetings.
They've given us the tools that I've always wanted.
Yeah.
So, and just it's a lot, but as you can see from these features and from these interviews with our players, it means a lot.
Well, there's a lot of content here, and it's very professionally done. And I say that honestly. I've been watching it from the get-go whenever I can. I'm always punching it in. And I've really enjoyed it. And I see such potential, as I know you do as well, at Uplift. I'm sure they see all kinds of potential as well as you two. And the produced pieces that I've been watching are just tremendous. They're so well done. Well, that content can be repurposed on all kinds of platforms. That's forever.
I want to know how many
so
hours we
the
have.
brand, and one of the most important things that Mike and you and I talked about for never quitting is that the brand is alive, and everything that the 11-day power play grew to become last year continues on. It hasn't really stopped at all. Mm-hmm. And that's tremendous. And this adds to it. This allows for that message to continue to get out there, and that it hits all these platforms. And I'm amazed by it, and I'm really proud and happy that it's part of the program now.
Well, we couldn't be happier to have you aboard with us. You bring a level of experience in the industry, hockey, the passion for it, and you just we appreciate having you as part of our group, and thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. I have to tell you, Tammy says the same thing. You guys have made us home. Buffalo's home because of you guys. So we appreciate it very much.
Seeing Tammy come in yesterday for her first shift. We tried to keep the same volunteers every day.
Yeah.
So she knew she couldn't be here every day.
Yeah.
And just to make sure that we have all the safety precautions in place very tight there. And she said, I was so glad that there was an opening so that I could be here when Alan's here. Yeah. You guys are adorable. You volunteer together.
Well, you guys make that happen for us, so I appreciate that too, because we hang out a lot, the two of us. So it's fun. It's fun.
So, Al, you and I clearly need some practice, and I think we should maybe have a little – you and I should have some time watching these young lads play. These are some really high-end 14, 15-year-olds. So we're gonna cut over to this game and watch it for a little bit.
Absolutely. I've enjoyed watching it.